Okay, so here is the 4x4 case. And these questions get harder quickly, but I think we can tackle this one. So what do you think? Before actually we even start, I would say what's your guess for how many we can get in here?
I mean, I guess just going off the last one, maybe that we can only have 3 per row. So maybe we could get 12 of these 16 filled.
Okay, interesting.
I'm gonna say less than that. I'll say 9.
Okay.
So I don't think the leaving an open space in each row and column will work now, because if we just kind of start doing it.
Here, I realize I might not have enough orange cubes for you.
Then if we want to choose an open space for the next row, if we put it in the same spot, then we form rectangles. And if we put it in like any different space, we're still going to have a rectangle that forms.
Okay.
So we have to leave more open space.
All right, so that actually just showed that you cannot have something. What?
So
We can't have 12.
Yeah. So maybe the next best thing is 11. I guess it didn't show we can't have 12 because maybe you can do it with 4 up here. But that does seem unlikely for sort of the same reason.
Then you can't have more than one.
Because then you're going to form a rectangle here.
Yeah, but actually, this shows something even more powerful than you can't have 12. This shows just the example that's on the board here shows something very important.
Well, it looks like you can't have 2 rows of 3 next to each other.
Or 2 rows of 3 at all.
Yeah. Because like if you had...
Why did you say next to each other?
Oh, they're next to each other here.
Okay. But it would still be the same.
Yeah, you'd still form rectangles
Okay.
like that.
So you can't have 2 rows of 3.
So only
Even.
basically 1 row of 3.
You can have 1 row of 3. Okay.
So that means we should try to fill in rows of 2 next. That would be the next best case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what would that give you?
That would give us 9.
9.
Okay. So you can't have 2 rows of 3 even. So as of right now, the most possible is 9.
Okay, so we'll have to try to prove that we can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you definitely need to put one there where there's an open space above. Otherwise, you'd form a rectangle here.
Let's see, if you just use this open space here, like put 3 here in this sort of configuration, do you form any rectangles? Doesn't look like it.
No, it's also interesting because if you don't look at these rows here, you have our 3 case here, and then you just kind of stuck rectangles onto the 3 case.
Oh, that's a great observation. So we could well, I don't have a lot to highlight it with, but I guess maybe that pencil and the marker could highlight it. So there's
one of our 3 cases.
There's one of the 3x3 cases. So certainly if the 4x4 case doesn't have any rectangles, then a 3x3 subset of it also won't have any rectangles. And it turns out in this situation we had it. One of the ones we looked at before, coincidentally, so that was nice.
All right.
Now, are there any rectangles here? It's sometimes hard to see them if there are. But we know there's not in here in this 3x3 grid, so that's nice. So any rectangles are going to be formed by one of those corner pieces.
I mean, you can just kind of like go around off of them. I mean, it doesn't look like there are any rectangles, so...
Okay, yeah, you just have to be careful.
Well, there would only be one more possible rectangle, because now these are filled in, so it would have to be this large rectangle around the outside. And there's no corner in the top right, so...
Nice.
Looks like we have a case for 9.
Okay, and have we proven it?
Yes, we have a configuration that works.
Okay.
And we proved we can't do higher because we can't have 2 rows of 3 in here. 2 rows going this way of 3. So this is the maximum number of squares we can put on here.
Yeah, that's we have proven it. Although the proof is slightly more than that. It's 1 inch more than that. So we've shown we can do 9, so that's good. And the problem, if we have 10, there are 2 potential problems.
So we can't.
One of them is,
Well, we can't have rows of 4
okay, one of them is you cannot have a row of 4, because why?
because that forces rectangles down here. If you have more than 1 in each subsequent row.
Okay, if you have a row of 4, the most you can have on it is 7.
Yep.
Because if you have 2 in any other row, you get a rectangle. So you can't have a row of 4.
And 2 rows of 3 doesn't work also because that has to form a rectangle. You'll have 2 overlapping.
There you go. So that was so the 2 rows of 3 wasn't the only possibility. So you had to mention, or not mention, you had to think about what was forced in other situations if I went up to 10. So it was either a row of 4 or 2 rows of 3.
Yep.
All right, so good. So for the last part, I'm going to give you a challenge. I'm not going to have you try to figure it out, but I'm going to just tell you the 5x5 answer and see if you can find one that meets it.
All right.
Okay.